What's up, everyone? To the first Epic 7 podcast that we're going to be trying out here. Um, Hopefully, you guys all enjoy it. And today we have Panshui, Jttai, and Recc joining me with this. And if you guys don't know who they are, I'll let them introduce themselves. Start with Panshui. Tell us who you are and whatnot.
He has it incorrect. My name is actually Jttai. At Twitch. I was just kidding. Hi everybody. I am Panshui. I stream for Epic 7, and I'm basically just a casual streamer and whatnot. So my Twitch link should be twitch.tv/Panshui. Hi everybody.
Okay, I guess I'm next. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Go for it.
I'm Jttai. Yeah. I didn't prepare anything for this. Well, introduction wise, so this is gonna be scuffed, just like I always am. My stream's probably known for being like the most Pepega stream out there. So if you wanna see more of it, Twitch Jttai, you'll probably see it. Okay.
All right, Recc.
I'm Recc, an ambition. We're recruiting, by the way. Only reason why I'm on. We're a friends and family guild, so feel free to apply. DM Vane if you want to join. But besides that, the only reason why I'm here is because I have rank 1 right now in Arena, which is miserable. And that's it.
All right. Thank you for those introductions, yeah. And then for people who don't know, Sky King. Yeah, some of you guys joining from other people's streams or watching on YouTube. Twitch.tv/XSkyKing. All right. So yeah, let's let me see here. Let's open up with topic 1. So we had the new patch come in today. New unit was released, Luluka, and then we had a new artifact also released with that. And so, what do you guys think about Luluka's usefulness in PvP and in PvE here? And then once whoever wants to start first, no particular order. Whoever wants to talk, go first, and then maybe we'll just have everyone go with the turn here.
Straight out, I don't think she's honestly like that good or anything. That's my opinion. Like right off the bat, I just pulled her just because for a collection purpose more like anything. But I think probably more so oriented towards newer players, people who can actually like utilize the extra survivability on their DPS for PvPe content. In PvP, dude, I don't see her being used anywhere past like Challenger or anything. It's like you have so many other good mage counterparts that also bring defense break, right? Like, when are you ever going to use her over, say, just regular Tenebria if you ever want to do that? Because Tenebria can actually soul burn her S3, right? And that gives more damage, but her soul burn Luluka is actually like S2 minus 2 turn cooldown. That's kind of like really Pepega, in my opinion.
My opinion isn't really too different from Jttai. She's basically just no different from Tenebria in general. Both are just basically just Taga Hell users. I don't even think they don't really do anything. One just like does defense break and has some supportive capabilities, and the other is just full on offensive. Between the two, I don't really prefer either of them. They're both great as if you don't have a mage already, you can actually use her as a defense break and whatnot to just hold onto the Taga Hells and just do what you really need to do. But in terms of PvP, I don't really think she has anything that's maybe in Challenger. She has a role. Champion and Legend, she has no role whatsoever. The current meta right now is just too deep within not using her right now. And for PvE, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other defense breaks, like probably Bologna that you guys might have. If not Bologna, then you would probably have, I don't know, Axe God and other probably preferable units instead of her. There's probably nothing else I could say about her.
Yeah, I mean, she's a mace, so she holds the taggles, so that's good. In high tier arena, I don't think she's gonna see any use, and in low tier arena, I don't think just because that's the only unit you own, I guess. But I mean, GVG offense, I feel like she's still gonna get used. Possibly, almost any unit can be used on GVG offense. So I guess that's kind of whatever. But I mean, Abyss 91 through 100. I think they're gonna have to like basically restrict all some of the PVE content to make it so you can't bring all these debuffs or all these buffs. If you run like Dizzy and Luluka together, like what is ever gonna kill you if you have defense up, attack down, and mischance?
So you think she's gonna be more of like? So people, do you think people are gonna be using her for like stall teams or anything? Do you feel like she's viable for that at all? Because she does give defense buff and barrier. Given the fact that there are a lot of units like Hurado, ML Ball, and Iela's Violin to that can strip those, like, would they be able to run units like Luluka and Angelica and those to maybe get multiple shields eventually? Because Luluka's shields on her skill too, right? So she can cycle through, right? Do you think that's viable at all? Like, in any sort of defense teams?
In my opinion, like the only reason why she's so lackluster, or one of the biggest reasons, because we just had Dizzy come out, right? And you just think about like who is Luluka gonna replace on your team, right? And if you're running Dizzy on your team, it feels like really redundant to ever run her, especially when you're considering your other slots as well. So it's kind of iffy on that part.
Okay.
Dude, she cannot beat a Dizzy on defense. Dizzy just can't, with Violin just takes apart her whole kit.
Dizzy has too much utility, I guess, right? Not to
Yeah,
mention
basically.
all her skills are AoE, right? So I guess in this case, it's, at least from what it sounds like, right? Similar thoughts. Because we just had Dizzy come out as a mage, water mage also, with a full AoE set kit, it seems like Luluka is really overshadowed in this point. Like, if there was no Dizzy, maybe Luluka might be a little bit more viable, but I'm guessing seems like, everyone's going to be running Luluka a lot more. Sorry, Dizzy a lot more rather than Luluka, compare, since both of them are mages too.
Yeah, and everyone and their mom has Dizzy. So
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dizzy was easier to get even because of the limited pity system. So
that's
there's gonna
true.
be more people with Dizzy.
That's true. Everyone probably, yeah, some people have some really bad summoning rates for Luluka, while Dizzy, at least you're guaranteed her.
I mean, compared to like Dizzy and whatnot, like just stat difference, it's like 103 for Luluka and 115 for like Dizzy. If you're really just gonna base it down on just like how you're supposed to build each unit, Dizzy is pretty straightforward. You probably just want her to run on like speed, HP, like a bit of defense effectiveness, and so on. And it's like you could tell that Dizzy has a very standard build to her, whereas Luluka, for example, her stats are kind of like all weird and janky. She doesn't have a lot of health, and if you really just want to build her like tanky or something in the same role as Dizzy, it doesn't really work. You can't really use Luluka to really replace Dizzy at all. You either choose to build Luluka as an offensive mage or just defensive mage. But at the same time, I feel like she has a very minimal role being a defensive mage if people decide to actually build her as a bruiser. She does have very high defensive stats. Her HP is very lackluster though. Her speed kind of just screws things up a little bit more. And that's about it. Her S3 just speaks more of, even if you were to use it in any other way, like just having a bonus effect of having it increase damage dealt like for 3 times speaks more of PvE instead of just PvP. Like especially when PvP is all about being first turn and whatnot. There's no way that you could really pick her up and get her like started at all.
What do you think? So, I think it's probably like we don't need to say that she can be used for newer players in Abyss and raids, probably in this case. But what about hunts? Yeah, Wyvern, and what's it called, Banshees. Do you think she's viable? Do you guys think she's viable at all in hunts? Right, defense break for Wyvern, shield. I guess the shield gets stripped, but do you know?
Yeah, so
do you think
that's
she can
the
replace
defense
someone?
buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be fine for newer players, right? Because obviously we already said that most players who are further progressed are gonna be using like their other options for all the content, like Dizzy for Hell Raid and whatever. But those people probably already have their Wyvern 11 team set. They don't need to consider Dizzy with that. So you're talking about newer players and people who probably maybe not even touched Wyvern 11 already. They could probably run her in 9. her being a mage, you run Zero Ren on her. Okay. Getting to Wyvern 11, and then you probably don't use her in Wyvern 11.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what I'm looking at.
Okay. Have any of you
Yeah,
guys
that's probably
tested
true.
her damage at all yet? Have any of you guys?
No.
No.
I just pulled her. Literally just pulled her.
Same.
Okay.
She's level 30. She does pretty well in the side event.
Okay.
I didn't take her out of my storage.
What Cry
That's sad.
like Cry XL
Yes.
though said in chat, I think that's
Mhm.
probably the way to build her. I think you should probably build her without any crit, but
Without
I guess
any
we'll have
crit.
to see. Without any crit, maybe like HP or defense percent on the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some sort of like bruiser style mage ish thing.
Okay. All right.
Which yeah, that seems like what like every mage is these days. With like I guess some effectiveness.
I mean, she'd probably be
Elemental,
pretty.
Dizzy, they're all like the same
She'd
almost.
probably be pretty good in like Europe right now. You know, considering not everyone has like any units. Yeah, you get like
That's true.
a ring
No
of banner
dizzy.
on a defense breaking unit that could probably help you on a lot of PVE. Europe Pog champ.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the defense buff should come in handy too. It's still like not a bad buff to have.
Yeah, I mean defense up is still definitely OP, but just no one needs it right now. So until they like make something, probably no one's gonna use it. You can't use it in Hell Bees, and you probably won't use her in Hell Vera because he's green for like I think half the fight or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably get stripped in Hell Queen, so I don't
Even
know
with,
when
like,
they're gonna make anything for.
it's basically we're banking on like Abyss 91 plus.
91 plus
something.
where you need that defensive stat and just so happens that you need that defense rake on the S3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little sad. She's a cool character. Animations are cool and all, but
Yeah, I like her animations though. That's it though.
The tapping of her foot. Oh my god, it's a sick idol
Oh,
animation.
her
shit.
I'm not
idle
gonna lie.
animation, yeah. Alright. Well, that's a pretty simple topic there, I guess there. Seems like we're all in agreement for that.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll be back here in a week when they buff the shit out of her.
Buffed her and then next thing you know,
Hot
she's like
takes
the
buff.
meta unit.
And she get the Tama treatment.
Yeah, Tam got changed, right? And that actually changed it a lot.
Yeah, 80% combat readiness after skill 3. Alright. Let's move on to the second topic here then. Alright.
Oh wait, her artifact. I think her artifact sucks. But
So alright, yeah, second topic. How can Spirit's Breath, aka Luluka's artifact, be used in PvP PvE? And what characters can make good use of it? And essentially, what are your thoughts on that artifact? So we literally just heard Recc's thoughts on that. So yeah, what's Panshui and Jttai's then?
Like just straight out looking at them, like it feels kind of weak. Like I don't know, there are a lot better artifacts you can be using. And you look at the character pool that can actually use it. What are you looking at? Like Cdom.
Oxlots.
Would you ever use an
Oxlot.
Oxlots? Oxlots over Tagahals? No way, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even Cdom, you just put Tagahals for the most part, right? Unless you're using it in PVE.
Yeah.
yeah, the only person who can use it is like Oxlots. But I mean, if you could carry 3 books in your team, you'd carry 3 books rather than this artifact.
Not to
I think.
mention, like, with the current meta of, well, right now, as it stands, right, people are trying to finish fights within turn 1s if they're using Oxlots. So, rarely are you at this point where you have a sustained fight that you go, buff more than, at least, like, more than 2 times there.
You never know. Abyss 91 plus. There we go.
Yeah, constantly attack buff. Okay. But
Yeah, I don't doubt it could be good. I mean, I hope it's good. I got 5 of them on my way to only getting 1 with Luluka.
that feels bad.
Man, I don't even have Oxlots anyway. But
Same.
it's probably only good on like these 2 cooldown heroes, and I think the only one that exists is Oxlots anyway.
What about, like, someone was mentioning earlier today, Fire Araminta, if her, what's it called? Her skill 2, if no one's burned, right, she doesn't damage, and she just only attack buffs, right? So, do you think it's worth it? Like, will that give her any sort of viability to bring her back in the game, right? Because her skill 3, the cooldown is okay. Her skill 1 helps reduce the cooldown, but you're not gonna get the cooldown back that quickly. So will the skill 2, right, with this artifact, will that help her, make her a little bit more viable to set burns, pairing up her with MLR Mintha or anything like that? What do you guys think?
I mean, after testing like our method with MLR Mintha, I know for sure that will never work.
Never work?
It will never work. Turn order is all out. This is bad. If I'm gonna really compare the Spirit's Breath, the new artifact that we just picked up, between Ethical Scepter, I rather would pick Ethical Scepter for like both of them are just like RNG, but at the same time, I feel like the way that I'm gonna build Araminta, she's always gonna get her burn on. Why would I actually choose to start off with her S2 instead of her S3? It's like I would rather start her with the S3 than so on, and then her cooldowns would just reset with like every turn that she would get, instead of actually pick up like her like the Spirit's Path and just drop it on her. And I don't even know whether it would even work on her, whether it like only applies if it doesn't, even if there's like no burns or not. That's the thing.
Okay. And then obviously, I guess in this case, the artifact won't be, because Luluka herself isn't that viable. Then, even though the artifact, you would rather put Tagahel's as having her as a Tagahel's holder instead of, even running her own artifact on her. Then
I think you might as well just run Etika's. I mean, I think only if this cooldown of your non-attack spell is literally 2 can you justify running the artifact. If it's like 3, maybe, but as soon as it hits like 4, I mean, you already have like, I don't know, like 87% chance to have the same effect compared to 100%. But then you have like so much more upside on the other 2 turns that you could proc it.
Yeah, you can like high roll.
Yeah, at that point it's just like, unless you absolutely need it, especially in PvE where you can just retry over and over again, like, you just get lucky once. That's all you need to do to beat something.
So I guess in this case, like, oh man, it sucks to say this, but it sounds like, if anything, the only point in time where you might want to use this is, for like CDOM for PvE, for Oxlots for PvE. Like,
Yep. Sounds about right to me. It just feels really weak.
Yeah. Okay. So, nothing about like, not really viable in PvP in this scenario here. Then both the character and the artifact itself, and with the small limited pool, I guess in this case, it's hard for anyone to take advantage of that right now.
Yeah, but I still probably wouldn't fodder it. If you have copies of it, you might as well keep it. You never know what they release. Like Droom Blade was never an item until they released Violet. So
true.
Yeah, they could release someone in the future that could make really good use of it.
Like another mage, who's maybe they'll release because how's that artifact work again? It's if you're using a non-attack skill, right? Then you reset you gain
-1 turn cooldown. It's guaranteed at +30.
Yeah, if you could get it to +30.
Maybe they'll make a mage that's more like a heal, like a mage that heals in the future.
Yeah, if a mage ever comes out with 2 non-attack skills, it could be pretty busted.
Can you imagine like someone like DN, but it's a mage?
A mage DN.
You could say that about every Soul Weaver. If any of the Soul Weavers could use Etika's Scepter.
That's true. Well, I guess, yeah, then in this case, this is definitely something we'll have to leave for the future in case. And see, that sucks. Alright, well, let's move on to the third topic here. So, that's it for Luluka itself. Short-lived a little. Third topic today. How will ML Cecilia change the meta or affect the current PvP meta?
She's gonna be disgusting. 100% disgusting. She's gonna destroy Legend, and then everyone is just gonna like die.
I feel like she won't destroy Legend, but she's gonna destroy, because
Champion.
Most of the people that are trying to utilize Cleave, like bombing, like says Cleave, Vildred's, and whatnots. Because that beginning shield, even without just testing her in the preview skills, she has like base 6.8k HP.
Yeah.
That looks like a pretty fat shield at that base already. And this is
Yeah.
without
Pretty sure
any
data mine says it's 15% self
15%.
15%, right?
So
And that's not even counting the buffed Molagoras, right? Is it? Like you're not counting
yeah, it's
Gorads?
including. It's including. It's
15
including.
after
it's-
molas.
Oh, after Molas, okay.
Yeah, I mean, she has more HP than Crow, slightly faster than Crow. She's gonna be basically like the same build.
Because like in this case, they're the people. So like I utilize Says Bomb every single fight. There's already people I can't kill. Like I'm close to, like, because everyone's gear keeps getting upgraded now, better substats and whatnot. It's easier for them to get tankier over an offense unit to gain more damage, I feel like. So with the shield now, like, the people who I was, maybe close to killing, if they pull ML Cecilia, that's it, right? I won't be able to bomb any of them now, right?
Yeah, do you lose sleep over that? Because I lose sleep over thinking about this.
Yeah, like, I was thinking about that, right? When I saw her data mine skills along with her skill data, it's like, I'd have to, like, run a different team now, because, like, sure, my Challenger Dominion can probably nuke and hit, knock down any unit that's low HP. No, sorry, knock them down to a low HP, and I can kill that unit, but the rest of the team lives then in this case, right? So it's just, I'm just only killing one unit now. The worst part is, I was thinking about ML balls, sorry. What if that shield makes it so I can't knock the ball below 60% anymore? Like,
I feel like it's still really hard for people to like really figure out what they want to really replace ML Cecilia, like which unit to actually replace on their team. Because I think I have talks with some other like people in my Discord or like some other people that I was talking just in my DMs. Like, where would I place ML Cecilia in my team? Let's say, for example, if you were gonna look at the top meta teams right now, and it's like, who do I replace? I replace MLR, do I replace Ball, do I replace like C Armin? Like, I feel like currently with all the releases of these like standard and staple heroes, it's becoming more to the point where there are indeed a lot of turtle teams currently, and there's like there's not like a large variety of them. But more than so, we could definitely see that how she would actually affect the meta right now is more so is like it's going to be very hard for people to actually pick and choose which units they want to pick. Like, do they want to keep Dizzy? Do they want to keep like MLR or something like that? Like, even right now, it's like I would even say like putting ML Cecilia in my team, it's actually going to be very difficult. I don't think I can find like a unit without like replacing one of my really good units that's really nicely geared already. Like, I wouldn't know whether I want to replace my MLR or like maybe my Ball or like C Armin, who knows.
So in this case, like, sorry, in this case, it sounds like what you're getting at then is people with a very set team, for example, like staple units, Crimson Armin, Rule of Light, Emma Ball, MLR, for example, right? You know, people who have that, they're gonna have a tough choice depending, right, who to replace, right? You replace Crimson Armin, that's an instant no-no, right? Crimson Armin is such a staple unit right now. You replace Ruel, you lose the Reviver. You replace Emma Ball, you lose your first turn. You replace Emma Armintha, you lose your damage, right? So would this be more of a unit that people who don't have any of those want to pull then? That would benefit people who are running like Destinas, Angelicas, Crows, like those kind of units rather than?
I mean, regardless, everybody's just gonna still try to pull for her. That's just how it is.
True,
She's
true fact.
she's an ML Nat 5. She's an Mystic Banner. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna just like, I don't know, like.
Dude, I really don't want.
I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to say. It's like people will pull ML Cecilia. They will at least attempt to.
I just don't want to pull next week. I don't want Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig dupes are bad.
She only has 2 weeks. She only has like 2 weeks for her banner, and that's it. She's gone.
That just might mean they might flip the ML 4-star or something.
Oh yeah, that was weird. I don't know why the ML4 was still written.
ML Ren's still here. I'm like, wait a second.
Maybe
Hmm.
hopefully they change that to like, you know, hopefully they release ML Zerato or something instead.
They kept waifu in my banner in the banner.
Okay. Would you replace anyone in your team with ML Cecilia Recc right now with your current defense? Where are you running for defense right now?
Yeah, I mean, right now, DN, Carmen, Ball, ML Araminta.
Mhm.
I think I'd probably replace DN if I had to say. I mean, I think the best team post patch is going to be Ruel, Carmen, ML Cecilia, and Dizzy. So I don't even think you have room to run Ball and Araminta anymore. But
Yeah.
Because the one
I
thing
think
I'm...
that
Oh, sorry.
the whole two knights thing is like disgusting. Like after your first knight carries Aureus, the second knight being able to carry Elbrus or a Hilleg Lance or whatever is just gonna be absolutely disgusting.
If you put Elbrus onto ML Cecilia, she has 100% provoke chance, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You Mulgore her. Yikes.
Base 85, right. That's pretty Pepega. 100% chance to provoke when she counters now then. That's an issue. Oh boy.
Just thinking about it is kind of.
Value the time we have this last weekend of arena before ML Cecilia.
Yep.
I don't even... okay, I'm not even thinking about it. I doubt I'll be able to pull ML Cecilia here.
You say that, you know, how many mystics do you have?
Like, I think I have like 500 saved, that's all. Like...
plus 2,100 because you're gonna buy like 3 packs.
No. Okay, I'm not... Okay, after ML Araminta, I'm never buying mystics again in my life. Like, I kid you
scarred.
not. I'm actually scarred. I'm actually scarred from ML Araminta. Like, I think that's like the most depressing time for me. It's like, after that, it's like, alright, yeah, I don't believe in mystics anymore. I'm just gonna pull from guild and that's it. But out of everyone, I feel like Jttai is gonna probably pull it. So we'll leave it to Jttai.
Whoa, okay.
Dude,
Well,
your
you're
guy
liking
told me the
everything.
secret
I got like
before.
I'm gonna have like 2K, but then I'm not gonna pull the first week. I'm not pulling the week. I'm gonna see next rotation, and people are saying, wait, which ones haven't appeared in the Mystics?
So
We're
is
looking at,
Violet...
like,
Violet is next week, right? No.
Cameron.
Tamarind?
No, is Violet this week?
Violet's this week.
This week, so... Yeah, I guess...
Ludwig next week.
Tamarind after Ludwig, because it seems like it goes in order. It's like banner, off banner, and then banner. Like the one, like the banners are going in order, but then there's like an off banner in between. It seems like, right? Oh boy, can you imagine how many people are pulling Tamarind on Mystics?
Dude.
Oh gosh, Tamarind plus ML Cecilia combo.
Yeah, I mean,
In comes the revenue. Well, all right. This next topic's gonna link to it. So, with the new recent characters that they've been releasing, Dizzy, does it feel like the meta in PvP is now shifting towards tankier teams and slowly replacing, you know, teams that used to cleave and do more damage? You know, in this case, does that mean, or does that feel like units like Dark Corvus is gonna keep going up higher, right? Because it's a really tanky unit that can still do damage, like a lot of damage here. Like, what do you guys think the focus and the shift in PvP will go?
I would probably say like it's kind of hard to judge. Like we could tell where the meta is standing from like Legend. Like we've been all in Legend, but it's hard to tell from like the standpoint from like a challenger's perspective or even like a champion's perspective. I basically just put my way out there just to like intentionally feed my way down to challenger, and only to see that I'm getting screwed by like a multitude of different teams. It's not always like the teams that I see in Legend. It's not like the meta teams. It's like the moment when I hop into Champion, it's like I see like crazy cleaves, literally people just using Oxlots like lesser Mercedes. Literally, they don't use Sez Cleave anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a larger variety. That's basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything. I mean, they gotta kind of stop the whole, win on turn one. It's probably like too unhealthy at this point because even if you're playing like Dark Corvus, you win like 100 matches in a row. It doesn't even matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can't win in 1 minute on Sunday,
Yeah.
even if you win 200 matches in a row and you play for 10 hours, you're not gonna win fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, by the way.
Yeah, because like most people who are running cleave teams, like in this case, the moment you're done a battle, you're gonna see you drop like 30 points or something. You win one battle, you lose 3 battles. It's such a difficult way to climb for people who don't have a solid those staple cleave units, right? Like Oxlots is such an important unit on offense right now.
Yeah, which is gonna make defense though more important. Which is gonna make your Ruel and your ML Cecilia more important to have
Mm-hmm.
your Crimson Armin and whatever. And I mean, ML or she probably like lends herself. ML Cecilia probably lends herself decently to getting like Tama Sariad if you have to drop the ball.
Yeah.
So it'd be at that point it's just like I guess it's like the meta triangle. You either get Sez or you get Tama Sariad on either end.
Because that was something I was thinking about with ML Cecilia especially coming out, right? Does that feel like the Saria Tamrin team comp is gonna be more prevalent now, right? Because full team barrier, you can just strip that with Tamrin rather, right? Or even if you strip one person, you nuke, use Saria, strip Ruel, and then you take down the one important unit. You slowly whittle them down. Like, I feel like I'm starting to build them just for the future in case here, even because I don't feel like my Sez can stack up to it. Like, even now at this point, there's starting to be more and more people who is more and more. It's getting more difficult for me to nuke people, right? Like, I used to be able to kill everyone in one turn. Now, maybe 2 units might live, and then the people who have really, really good equips, like 3 other units are alive at the end. Like, given their low HP, but it's starting to get more and more difficult to do that. So I'm wondering if switching to Asaria Tamrin is like something that like most people are gonna have to do now at this point to just kind of slowly work on each unit one by one.
Maybe. I mean, it kind of. I guess it depends on like what you're playing arena. Because at the end of the day, like the people who have like the good equips are gonna be near like 54, 5,500,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the people you're probably not gonna hit on Sunday either way. Like I don't know, like Jambi and Artoria, Hongyo, Sudley's also pretty tanky. Like all these people
Mm-hmm.
are, and I think Nux, like all these people have set like very tanky teams,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, yeah, I'm not. You're never gonna beat Dark Corvus, but someone spending 7 minutes to beat you with Dark Corvus, you don't really mind.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, there's starting to be like more people I avoid now, even when I climb on Sunday rushes. Like, I mean, Artoria is a little bit of a weird one. I find like, I think last week when I hit Artoria, like, their defense was like squishy, and then on the last like 30 minutes they switched it to a tankier defense, and like,
Debated.
yeah, they ran like Assassin Cartuja all of a sudden, like switched up their whole team. I was very confused. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just like testing something else to try to help the defense there, but okay, well, hopefully with we'll see when the new season 2 episode 2 comes out. We'll see what happens there for that.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for that one. Yo, wait,
Yeah.
when do we get our free Nat 5? Our free 5-star?
Like Sunday.
If you logged in every day, if you
Yeah.
logged in like that same.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do one last thing here. We're gonna open up to the chat. If anyone has any specific questions they're curious about, or they want us to kind of, what's it called? What's it called? Have us, sorry, answer. No shirts, please. Okay, yeah, no. So it's just more like an open discussion, yeah. To see if there's anything else we might have missed, any questions chat has, or anything. Can we get AMA for Vayne? I've heard he's a dictator.
Panshui, I think you should answer Sludley's question.
Talk about
How
the
am I supposed
revenge
to answer-
system.
no, wait, what?
Okay, I'm curious about that one. Talk about the revenge system. What do you guys think about revenge system?
I don't even revenge. I mean, maybe
don't
Go
revenge.
even all right, start
because
hitting
there's no reason to revenge.
I think for the people that are, you know, at like the very high rankings of Legend, when on Sunday when you're pushing, right, your top 10, almost everyone that attacks you is going to be lower ranking than you, right? So you're losing more points when you revenge them. And if they can beat you, that's even worse, right? They can gain more points off you. So it feels like it's so like
If you're revenging someone with like a much lower rank, you're losing more than you
Yeah.
trade.
I just feel a revenge should not be able, like, you can't revenge a revenge. Like, I don't like how that works at all. How you could actually just keep on bouncing back and forth.
I think they tried to
Doesn't feel
fix
fair.
that with like limiting like people to 3 revenges a day. So like you can only do it so many times, but I guess most people seem to hold on to the revenges until like, you know, the last 45 minutes of arena rush, and then they start revenging the higher ranked people, right? But
Yeah. Sin no means question. The Dark Corvus at like 7 minutes. I mean, if you're just bringing Dark Corvus and you're actually gonna like attack for 7, like just S1 a million, it's gonna take you too long to win.
It's like 7 to 8 minutes. Yeah.
If
With
they're like,
emulator lag, 7 to 8 minutes.
yeah, you actually gotta like factor in the performance of your, and hopefully like you bring him to like a quad light team, so he just like tears them all down. But I mean, even then, you still need to wait for soul burn sometimes.
Yeah, the soul burn waiting is what really stops Dark Corvus from performing well against the one teams that are stacking a lot of light units. You get your S3 and then they have Relic of Light. You can't kill her without soul burn. You're just waiting there.
and you have to kill it first.
Yeah. If you don't kill her in one shot, she just full heals. So you're like, whatever.
Question here from Era Sabin. Do you guys think the gear RNG stamina balance is in a good place or should be changed? Well, stamina, I think we can safely say stamina wise from the community and everyone, yeah, I would say 99.9% of the community wants a buff in stamina. But what about the gear and the RNG for gear rolling?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically what separates like the top whales, I guess, is how much you whale on energy, not really like the units. So, I mean, if you're spending 5,000 plus energy a day, or like 5-6,000 in hunts per, I think that's where like most of like the top whales are like spending around. So.
Because like I was thinking about something like compared to other games, right? More so from trying to think about people who, you know, want to enjoy the game. People who want to just play the game, have more time to play the game, right? Like no matter what, the people who are going to be whaling are going to whale to refresh stamina, regardless of if a dungeon costs less or costs more. They'll still be spending the same amount. The only thing here is time wise, right? Because right now we're getting Wyvern 11, right? We're just getting more mats for more stamina. Like, what if Smilegate drops the stamina usage, but drops the mat, what's it called? The amount of materials, crafting materials you get. So, you know, if they half maybe the stamina usage for all stages or something, like, would that let people who want to enjoy the game play the game more, and let the whales who's going to whale anyways refresh and just farm more? Like,
Probably not. I doubt they do that. But
you don't think so?
no, I mean,
Because like the other thing is like the refilling on stamina, right? If I use up all my stamina on my ult account or something, right, I go to sleep, wake up, my stamina actually still sometimes isn't fully filled up. I find it's
A lot of the time. That
it's
happens.
like
Yeah.
it's like a what? It's like a 6 to 8 hours of like, and my stamina's still not full, and I'll finish that stamina in, let's say, give or take, 3 or 4 dungeon runs. So for someone who's played the game for a while now, then what happens when you run out of stamina, like, and you're done abyss, like, yeah, there's nothing else you can do. Raids, right? You do a little bit of events that come out, you get the free leaves to do the events, and you're done, right? There's not much left for you to play. Like, then I guess in that case that's more like a content issue.
It's more than likely the content issue. We still have like quite a bit of room. We still got episode 2, but that's probably just gonna be like a crazy energy sink. Still waiting for like the guild raid boss. We're still waiting for the rest of Asmakalis to come out for Hell Raid. There's quite a bit left. We have. I'm not even quite sure. It's just taking It's just taking a while.
Okay. Wouldn't just 30 Skystones refresh refills max stamina instead of 60 seem more reasonable? I have thought about that, but I feel like that's gonna bump, like, at least personal opinion wise, I feel like that's gonna bump the people who are whaling even higher up, and like it's gonna create like a bigger gap than there already is. At least, like, just at least what I feel. I don't know if, like, in this case, if someone else has some other thoughts about that. Like, I don't know what's like like, I'm not sure like what's a safe route for them to go where they're not hurting the community too much, and creating a bigger gap within it.
I mean, they're doing small little like events here and there that give you a bit more stamina, which is helpful. But you burn through that in like 20 minutes if you have slow wyvern runs or something.
Which life quality updates do we need right now? What about auto repeat pets? Pets was something they talked about, right? Like picking up the
That was
chest.
a long time ago. Yeah, it
They
was
did
in
say pets were gonna be released.
Yeah, it was in a dev note. I don't exactly remember when.
With the amount of chest boxes.
It was
in episode 2.
Probably.
I hope so. Yeah. Quality of life updates though. I don't like the auto repeat. Like, I feel like if you're auto repeating, right, you set like what 10 times to auto repeat. I don't think that would be.
I don't like auto repeat that
Like,
idea.
yeah.
I would not be a big fan of it.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that. I didn't really like games in the past that had auto repeat functionality. Like, rather
Yeah,
somebody.
I doubt they had that.
Yeah. How much can Panshui lift? Yo, Panshui?
I could lift Gabe. I could lift Sky King.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So
I could carry him. Feels
Yeah.
good, man.
Panshui is pin.
How many fingers? 8 plus 2 thumbs.
Okay. How much time do you spend in legend matches before you drop faster than you rise? Honestly,
You just pray.
I feel like I thought it was a little bit more random, but I feel like whenever I hit that 5,400-ish rating, like when I'm in like Legend 5, top 20, that's usually when I get hit more. Like, before that, I get hit once or twice. Yeah, once I hit that moment, then I get hit 3 times randomly sometimes, because I don't know, maybe people are starting to see me more there. Like, unless I can win a lot of battles and push past that to like pass the 5,500, I feel like then I would get hit a little bit less. How often do you get hit, Recc, when you're in first rank?
Pretty, like, not that often. I mean, I was only hit like 120 times in total last week. Maybe like 15 or 20 times in total on set.
What's your defense win rate? Or
When ball like just came out, it was around 50%, and then it like hovers around like 45 ish. And last week I think it was like down to like 38 or 40 or so that it ended.
Wow. Okay. on such
That's
a
pretty good.
yeah, my measly like 25 to 20% win rate on defense is yeah, a
Don't
little
worry.
lackluster.
Me at champ 5, no one hits me. It's cozy here.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you do have well.
all right. Do we have any other questions from chat? Let me see. Okay.
Hmm?
Adding a bit more context to my question, it's a bit frustrating that you farm for hours, get a good drop, and it gets instantly destroyed by two bad RNG rolls. I have like 10 or more units sitting in my stash that I want to gear but can't, and I'm beginning to ask myself why even roll on banners when I can't equip the units. It's so goddamn weird for me since it never happened before in any of the gacha games I played. I can see that. I did have a few people talk about that where they farm Wyvern 11, they get a lot of 70 gear, and when they do get 85 gear, you roll for it and you don't get what you need, right? Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's because I farm more that I don't really run into that issue. But with with crafting, along with farming Wyvern 11 at the same time, I feel like I get enough gear to like power up and try like heroic gear wise. If I don't get the first roll, right, I scrap it. But that's because I already have decent rolls for some equipment, right? When I first started, it hit health percent once, or it hit speed once, 3 speed. And it's good enough for me, right? I'll take that and I'll power it up. And then it's like a slow, steady upgrade, I feel like, more so than anything else. So, I don't know, it's like, how much do you guys farm, Panshui, Jttai, Recc?
I think on average I would probably be spending around like maybe about like 400 to 600 sky stones per day. It varies. I can't exactly tell. Like, I don't exactly know how much I spend on wyverns. Sometimes I don't even farm at all.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I just like farm a bit, but I don't exactly think about like how much I use, because
Mm-hmm.
then I always feel like, as a person that just spends quite a bit, I don't exactly think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't really buy any lead packs or really like refresh or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just very cautious about like how I actually farm and just like what I farm. That's basically it.
Yeah, I'm like kind of same way. I have like days where I farm a lot, and other days I'm like, it's gonna go screw it. Like, okay.
Those bad days where you
Yeah,
feel like you're not gonna get any drops, say.
Yeah, basically.
on the low end, like around I don't know, like 1,500 skystone a day, and on the high, maybe like 3,000, 3,500.
Damn. That's
Oh
about.
damn.
Yeah, I think I've slowed down. Like, when Wyvern 11 first came out, I think on average I spent like 1,000 to 2,000 minimum a day farming, and upwards of like to like
Dude,
3,000, and then now it's
I've
like
slowed down so
500.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, like, how much, like, I get like what, about 1,100 skystones back, so I'm trying to like juggle it now, like trying to use like trying to make sure I stay within the range of how much I get from arena each
Hmm.
week, and like try to not refresh as much in arena.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, you basically farm hunts the whole week, and then you spend all your gold in arena on Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
then GVG. So like the whole gear like thing where you don't have enough gear to go around on people. I don't know. Like I'll have like a naked Surmia or something, and then only use her for
Yeah,
like
I like
one
swap my
fight.
gear around so often.
Yeah.
It kind of is what it is.
Yeah. So, from a question from Sinomine, should you spend energy farming side story and completely clear the catalyst? So how I would basically just do this is that I only try to get like all of the epic catalyst. The rest I could just really worry about as I farm. I don't really care too much about like the rest of the shop, other than like maybe buying the bookmarks, the artifact charms, and Molagoras, and I think that's about it. Clearing out the reputations and everything else is probably a lot more efficient. You probably don't need to be farming the side story completely unless it actually has good drops. Like at the moment, I don't know if Luluka actually has any Like, is there like
There's no
any
epic
epic-
catalyst.
No,
There's nothing
side
from
stories
the
are
drop.
based on characters, never have Epicalus as a farmable. So.
Yeah. So this is basically where I just like farm as fast as possible for the currency, get the epic catalyst, finish the reputations, and just get out. Because then I would rather just like spend my energy on AP farming instead of spending like all my time on side story. Right now, side story is like to me is like an energy sink. It's just crazy. You're just trying to finish that as soon as possible so that you don't have to grind it anymore. But even more so, I guess, with this current side story that we have right now for the fighter medals and whatnot, I feel like that's pretty abundant. Not too many units use fighter medals. You could probably just like neglect it if you have to. The rest of the catalysts don't really feel too important. If you really want, you could just finish your reputations and just get out. And then you probably don't even need to like buy anything because then it isn't too hard to farm like chapter 1 world.
I feel like the only thing I would be really like, to me, like the main thing now is like epic catalyst. I don't know if it's because I have a lot of the normal catalysts, but like the epic is obviously the most annoying one to buy from the AP shops and things like that, right?
I think
So-
you always buy the Epicalus, and then the other Calus, you're like, if you need them or if you're low on them, then you buy them. Because if you don't need them immediately, but you have like 5 like cursed ashes and the cursed ashes there, then you're like, okay, let's just buy them. But if you have like 60 plus cursed ashes, like you could probably skip that.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing is like the difficulty could be like, let's say for example, one catalyst ends up being like very difficult to farm, and it's like in very high levels of world. For example, maybe like chapter 8, chapter 9, maybe chapter even 10, and you can't even clear it.
Oh,
It's
the
probably
black
a good
curse
idea.
powder?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to actually look at the side story shop sometimes and probably farm that out completely. And sometimes the side stories could have that epic catalyst too, and that could be very neat.
There's something here I want. Let's see. Lexi Lori says, which units you guys believe will get better when Fallen Cecilia is released? So unit like Emelrin. Do you find Emelrin being viable when ML Cecilia is released? Because obviously with Emelrin being able to steal the shield, right? Turn 1, she's gonna give a shield to her units. You can steal a shield, get rid of that, give your whole team a shield. Would it be viable for like stall team comps or anything there?
Yeah, I think you probably stands to gain the most from the unit. Were you gonna say something, Panshui?
No, I just forgot. I just forgot what I was about to say.
The Emelrin expert needs to give his opinion.
Yeah. How does ML Rin actually will fare against ML Cecilia when she's released? That one I'm probably gonna have to put like a lot of questions on it. I feel like using ML Rin, she's very difficult because then there's so many. She's very difficult to use. Her only role is really just to be a turn 1 immunity. I feel like she doesn't really have much more of a role in that. She doesn't deal damage. Her stats being tanky doesn't really mean anything. She has no sustain for herself. To me, she feels like a very selfish unit. She doesn't really do anything more than that. She could probably do something about ML Cecilia, but I don't know why I would actually choose to use her over a different kind of stripper that already exists in the game.
I was actually wondering if Bassar would be more viable in this scenario.
Yeah, but Bassar might actually be more likely of a choice because then he does have an unbuffable.
The unbuffable, yeah.
So he can stop the shield even after ML Cecilia's turn goes, right? Because you put the unbuffable on, you strip the buff, then you put unbuffable. She can't give the team any more shields, right? So I'm wondering if Bassar might be more viable of a unit once people are running Fallen Cecilia when she comes out. Depending if people run her a lot, right? If not a lot of people are using her, then obviously it doesn't matter. But if everyone's using her, I'm wondering if like units like that will be useful there.
I think no matter what, like even if ML Rin is like the hard counter to ML, the team you're gonna use her in isn't gonna win fast.
It's just not gonna work.
It's like a slower team.
Yeah, and for Bassar, I don't know if your plan, if you like need to land unbuffable on certain units, I feel like you might as well just try and go land defense breaker or something. Like if your whole game plan relies on you landing the debuff on all of the members. Like if Ruel
Mhm.
doesn't get unbuffable and you lose, then
Mhm.
your team is not good.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Something like not as reliable then I guess in that case. Like if you're trying to really like actually get unbuffable on all 4 enemy units.
Yeah, if your game plan relies on that, then you might as well just run ML ball like Araminta style
Mhm.
teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And ML says at that point.
That's true. Yeah.
If your
This is
game
true.
plan ever reaches a point where you need to land debuffs on someone, then you can just run ML says. Because at that point, if you land it, they die anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just get a stun off and then have ML says go ham on the enemy unit. Okay. Alright. Well, I'll leave it there. I'll end it for that and then because we talked about quite a bit I think here. Alright, so thank you everyone for joining the podcast this week. We'll do this again next week and try and invite new people. All right, thank you guys for joining
All right.
us. Yeah, thank you Panshui, thank you Jttai, thank you Recc.
Thanks for having us.